Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've been putting together some of these hover effects for you. We've got animated backgrounds and drop downs and things like that. And if you want to see more of these, have a look at our hover effects playlist below. Today we've got a sort of team member picture. When you hover over it, it's going to pop up with the team member details and some social icons. It's going to spin in there, spin out when you let go. Really easy to do, no coding used in this today. We're just using the inbuilt features of the fantastic Divi theme itself. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the visual builder. Once enabled, I'm going to roll down to where I want to work. I'm going to create another row just below this one. Little green button for a row. I guess I'll use 3 again. It really doesn't matter. That's entirely up to you how much detail you want to put in there. Okay, and we're going to roll down and find a person module. Now Divi comes as standard with all these light grey modules here. Plenty enough to get any website built. There's the person module. And as you can see, if I roll down a bit, it's got a place for an image there. We're not going to use that because we're going to use the background as the actual image. Put the name in here. What their position is. You can put a Facebook and social media profiles below. Just put your link to your page in there, whichever ones you want to select. And you can barely see it, but it's actually popping up down the bottom as I'm putting the links in here. Google Plus, that doesn't exist anymore. Let's put LinkedIn in. And there's 3 of them down there. Obviously in the body you can say a little something about the person. I haven't got a lot to say about any of these as they're fictitious. Down below is where you can add your image if you want to. I'm going to take that away, just hit the trash can. Because like I say, we're going to use an image behind there. And if you followed any of these videos before, usually with the image to text type effects, the image actually resides in the column behind the module here. Okay, if you want to link it to somewhere like their page or something like that, you can put a link in down below here. Like I say, if they've got a personal page on the site, link it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somewhere, open it in a new tab. Okay, I'm going to put a background in, and we'll be changing this around in a little while, but I want to be able to see some of the image behind once I put it in there. So I'm going to click on the actual color itself. Bring the opacity down to probably about halfway, somewhere like that. We'll be able to see some of the image behind. We can always adjust it once we've got the image in there, and this will work for any color. Okay, well let's move on to our design now. The icon, that's the social media icons down there. Make them whatever color you want. I'll make them a lighter blue than that. Just drag it up. There we go. And I think I'll make them a little bit bigger, so I'll use the icon font size button. That'll do fine. Image, we're not using one, so I can skip over that. Text, I want everything to be in the middle on mine. Pop that into the middle. I'm going to make everything light in color too. Title text, let's make that a bit bigger. That's their name, the title text. I'm going to capitalize it, make it semi-bold. And if you watch any of my videos before, you know that Divi has got a crazy amount of fonts. There's literally hundreds of them. I've been using this for 5 years or so, and I've not gone through all these. Just go in there, hover over one, it'll give you an example of what the font looks like. But I'm going to use the default for mine today. We made it semi-bold. Let's take it up a little bit in size. That's fine. Now his position's kind of getting lost a bit in there, and that would be the position text down here. So I'm going to make that white too. There we go. Okay, spacing, I'm going to give it a bit of padding all around, just to give it a bit of breathing room here. Make it the kind of shape that you want for your image. Put in 25, it'll put in the pics for you. hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side, and we'll do similar for left and right. There we go, that looks about the same, the right aspect for the image when we put it behind. Okay, well let's put the image behind, and then we'll come back and do the magic that makes this disappear and zoom in and what have you. So I'm going to save the changes there. I'm going to go back into the row. And we're working with 3 columns here in this row. We're in the first one, that one right there, middle, right. So I want to go into this one, go down to the background, and we'll add the image that we want to add. You've got color, gradient, image, or video. So we're going to add this one right here. Let's grab this fella right here. And there we go, we've got him in the background. And with that color you can see him and you can read the text pretty well there. If you can't read the text well enough, just bring that opacity back upwards so it darkens down a bit. Now one important thing we want to do here, we've got to bear in mind that this is a kind of oblong shape. When it revolves in, because we're going to have it revolve in, these corners are going to spill out of our column here. Now if you want to see those corners outside the column, don't do what we're about to do, but personally I like to hide those. Anything that spills out of a column is called overflow. So what we need to do is go over to Advanced, to Visibility. Here's horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to set both of those to hidden. So anything that falls out of that column there will not be visible. Great. Well, let's go back in and make the effect now. So we're going to go back into our little team member module there. Going to go to Design. And down at the bottom, we've got Transform. Third tab along is Transform Rotate, which is the one we're going to use for this today. Now, common to most Divi modules, if you hover over the dark writing here, it'll pop up some icons. If there's a little arrow there, it gives you the option to set a desktop state when a mouse is not on it, and a hover state, obviously, when the mouse is on it. So on the desktop state, we're not really going to see it because I'm going to have it invisible here, but I want it to be rotated pretty much all the way around the other way, almost completely the other way around, because it'll spin back in like this. And then when we hover over it, I want it to be at 0, so I just put a 0 in there. There we go, great. So it's going to spin from that to that. Now the default time that Divi actually takes for that is 300 milliseconds. To me that's a little bit quick, so I'm going to slow mine down for drama. To do that, go to your Advanced, go to Transitions. There's the default 300 milliseconds, or just under a third of a second. I'm going to drag mine up to about a second for drama. Don't want any delay, want it to happen as soon as they roll their mouse over it. Speed curve I like to use is ease in, ease out. They're all slightly different. Some will work better than others in certain situations, so check them out. But for most of my hover effects, I like to use that ease in, ease out. That way when you take your mouse off of it, it sort of eases back out again. Okay. So we put in our spin, and we put in our ease in, ease out, and the transition time. Now I need to make it invisible until they mouse over it. So let's go to our design. I'm going to roll down to Filters, and roll down a bit more. You'll find opacity or transparency or see-throughness. Again, we want to hit the little arrow to bring up a desktop and a hover state. Now when it's on the desktop, when there's no mouse on it, I don't want to see it at all. We just want to see that fella's image. There we go, just like that. When we hover on it, I want it to become totally visible. Remember, it's going to take a second to do this, so it's going to spin in and become visible. So there we have it. If we've done everything correctly now, this should work for us. So let's save the changes. We'll save the page changes and exit the Visual Builder. Roll on down. And there's our fella there. As you can see, we've just got his image. When I roll over, details spin in. Still see him behind there, but you can read that text nicely. And you can link to his social medias right there. Let go, and it fades back out again. And that's a nice little effect to have for your team on your site there. Like I say, really easy to do, no coding involved. Great. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.